right. I think we're good. So, welcome to another episode of Sit Down by the Fire. Today we have our very special guest,
Hi, I'm Sammy McGee.
and one of the reasons we wanted to have you is you have a very nice business that you're starting, and what you wanted to explain what that is.
Yeah, so I started Sammy's Toy Drive when I was 15 in June of 2022 for the survivors of the Robb Elementary School shooting in Uvalde, Texas.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. I mean, you're definitely proven that maybe your generation's not exactly messed up, but because
Thank
I
you.
mean, when we were in high school, I couldn't see us starting a business because I was a high school Dumbo. Eric, you were pretty much a bad kid. So,
Yeah,
and
unfortunately.
then Minotaur, how are you in high
About
school?
that, the better though.
Yeah. Eric, how are Minotaur? How are you in high school?
High school, I don't know. I don't remember much about it.
Yeah, so there you go. So, I mean, what other stuff have you done then with your business? As far as like the besides the shooting and everything else. It's because it's a toy drive and everything else. What else have you done with it?
Well, so far we've only had one event, and that was in November. We did it in Uvalde. It was a really neat event at the library there. We had over 100 kids show up. It was
That,
incredible.
that's
Um,
awesome.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I'm hoping to do more with it in the future, like an annual type of event.
Hmm.
Awesome.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Because I mean, you kind of what I saw her on Fox News, um, in my local area because I'll just say that we're in the same state. That people know where I'm in, but yeah, we're in the same state. But I saw her and I'm like, man, I have to talk to this girl because like I said, just I guess I almost just just want to give you a round of applause for that because that's just amazing that you did that and turned a tragedy into something more positive. So
Thank you.
and I mean, hopefully you can be maybe a good competitor to Toys for Tots or something
Yeah,
someday.
That is my goal. I'm trying to focus on especially like communities that are affected by gun violence in schools because these are communities that are highly stigmatized
Hmm.
and these kids didn't ask to go through this. So there shouldn't be such a stigma around it. So I really want to help try to break the stigma and help them through these times.
Yes, that's you know that's amazing that you would do something. I'm just saying, I mean, I'm trying to start a media company, and I would just, I'm not making an offer or anything, but like I would just love to just even sponsor it or something as much as I can because
Thank you.
that is just I can't stress enough, just amazing, because
Thank you.
but we are an entertainment podcast, but we just wanted to get your business out there and everything too. But is there any places where they can go to maybe see what you're doing with your business, et cetera, social medias and all of that stuff?
Yeah, so I have Instagram and Facebook. It's just Sammy's Toy Drive. And then I'm also working on, well, I do have a website actually. I totally forgot about that. It's just sammystoydrive.com. And I'm working on putting together another Amazon wish list for the next event that we're going to have.
awesome.
Thank you.
Okay.
So yeah, so I guess question about the website. Did you yourself put up the website, or was that done by somebody helping you?
Nope, I built it all on my own.
Awesome.
Thank
That,
you.
so she's probably more tech savvy than all three of us. So,
Yeah.
um,
Especially considering back when I was a senior in high school, I was trying to take like a web design website, like to create my website. All of it went right over my head. But I mean, to be fair, I was like 17 at that time, and I definitely was very, very naive when I was at that age. And of course, I'm not saying that everybody at that age is automatically an idiot, but me back
well,
then, I look back on the things I did and said, I go, I can't believe I said or did that. So,
Well,
and so just knowing the fact that Sammy did all that herself, huge props.
yeah.
Thank you.
I mean,
Of course.
well, that's one of the reasons why, I know people bash all of both our generations, not just millennials and Gen Z, but like there are that very small majority of Gen Z kids out there that are doing stuff like what Sammy's doing, starting their own businesses and actually thriving. Like there was one kid, I think I saw on the news like he was 15 years old. He started a candy business in school and was making his own candy, was selling it at school, got in trouble at the school. I'm like, dude, he was making like hundreds of dollars a day selling candy.
Not bad.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm like, hey, I mean, you got to strive a guy for taking the opportunity, I guess, and that's what you did. You took an opportunity, and I guess what other stuff would you like to do besides, just besides shootings, like maybe, I don't know, like maybe hurricane disasters or something, maybe something like that, or other disasters, maybe?
At the moment, I'm just providing support in Uvalde because the amount of connections and I don't want to say friendships because these people have even become family to me at this point. So I'm hoping to eventually expand into doing more of different tragedies affecting kids. But at the moment, we're just in Uvalde because I'm going to be honest, Uvalde, they are dirt poor. These are the
Yeah.
type of things that they are deciding between Christmas gifts or paying their bills. And when they're having to worry about that on top of medical bills, therapy bills, everything, they're in such desperate need of help. So that's just why I'm laser focused on them.
Right.
Well, yeah. Well, I think we'll definitely try to support it as much as we can. I think all three of us, we have a platform here on YouTube. We'll probably definitely be giving shout outs or something. So after we're done recording this, but like I said, we are more of an entertainment podcast, but we're mainly movies in general and everything. But we want to take the time to at least talk to you just because it's like, wow. So, but why don't you just tell the guests some of your favorite movies and, because I think we pretty much established what the business is, so.
Okay, so favorite movies?
Yeah.
Goodness, I have to think about that. I do have to say, Elvis 2022 is definitely one of my favorites. I am a huge Elvis fan. Goodness gracious, this is hard. I'm so bad when I'm put on the spot with stuff.
Hey, a lot of us are. No, well, we'll just talk about. We can talk a little bit about Elvis. I really liked it. I'll say that Austin Butler's probably the second best Elvis because Kurt Russell will always be number one.
Yeah.
I love that.
Bruce Campbell.
Well,
Yeah,
Bruce Campbell too.
Yeah. And Bruce Campbell was interesting. Like, he played like more of like a zombie Elvis, from what I recall. Which is an
I don't know.
interesting idea.
I don't know. Have you seen that one, Bubba Hotep?
I have not.
It's interesting. It's a very interesting.
It's an interesting movie.
It's not for everybody, though. It's definitely not for everybody.
Yeah, definitely not.
Very nice movie.
It's a very fun movie.
But yeah, I mean, obviously with the zombie Elvis, you're clearly not supposed to take it seriously.
But
and it's definitely not supposed to be historically accurate either.
So I did I liked Elvis 2022. I liked that. I like Austin Butler's performance, and I was a fan of him before he was even famous, which is just weird because I go back, this was the guy that that blonde surfer looking dude in Nickelodeon stuff.
It's so funny how his career just completely turned.
Right. Well, I mean, it's interesting. Like I never would have thought that. Like I said, the blonde surfer dude from a Nickelodeon movie. If anybody remembers it, what was it, like Aliens in the Attic?
Yes, Aliens in the Attic, like Wizards of Waverly Place, like the weirdest shows and movies.
Yeah, he was in that, and then all of a sudden he's Elvis, and I mean, to the point where he even sounds like Elvis, and he hasn't lost his Elvis voice yet. And I don't think that's going to go away here pretty soon. Like I heard reports that they're saying, I heard people say, "Oh, he's losing his Elvis voice." I'm like, I don't hear it. I don't think he's going to lose that. I would suggest them don't lose that because that's kind of your gimmick at this point, you know.
Oh yeah.
So, you know, I guess we can even still talk about the business if you want a little bit. What else? I mean, it's mainly a toy drive, but I'm assuming like people can donate other stuff as well, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, toys, clothes, stuff like that, you know, and probably, you know, non-perishable foods.
Yes.
So please don't give her any, you know, fruits and vegetables and everything else. You know, we don't want to send people bad food. So,
Exactly.
but do you guys have any questions for her mainly, or with her business or anything, or maybe any entertainment stuff?
So I would imagine, like for your business, you probably only would take clothes for children.
Yes, and we definitely like clothes are kind of a side thing because toys are definitely the top priority, like toys and gift cards. Um, because the kids they are getting older. Most of them they're like 13 now. So when they come in, I like them to be able to pick out like a toy or something that they like, and then it's more of I give the parents on the side the clothes or the things that they're needing, just so the kids they don't have to think about that kind of thing. So other items are definitely more of like an extra thing that I look at, but toys and I'm trying to think of some of the things that the kids were asking for specifically, like Lego sets. I had a couple girls asking for like makeup and skincare kind of stuff. So those are like my top priorities.
Well, I know that Matthew McConaughey, he went to school there, and he was big into with helping them out. Did you ever get a chance to meet him?
Sadly, I didn't. I did reach out to people that are close to him, but I never was able to get that far. I'm hoping that now, with the toy drive getting bigger, like I'm having it be an official nonprofit now. So I'm hoping that as it grows, maybe there'll be a chance there. You know, get a shout out from Matthew McConaughey. That would be crazy.
That would be huge.
That would be
Yeah,
amazing.
that would be awesome. Well, let's hope and pray that happens because
Yes.
that would be awesome. And you know, I mean, so obviously, and you know, gosh, like you know, so I guess you know, obviously it's been very rewarding doing this because you're doing a very good deed. But like,
Thank you.
what's been you know, besides just doing it for the kids and everything, but what, you know, I don't really. What's been? I guess it has just been very rewarding. But like, what's been the most like maybe like a story that you would like to share maybe with our guests about, you know, doing this, you know?
Um, there's a lot because so I went to Uvalde in November. We were only in Uvalde for 22 hours. And in that time, we had to meet with families, visit all the places I wanted to visit, and run the event. So it was a lot within 22 hours. We were up from 2 a.m. until I think we didn't go to bed until 2 a.m. So we were up for a straight 24 hours.
Wow. Talk about
Yes.
a long day.
It was incredible. We left my house in Kansas and flew to Texas. We ended up that weekend having 4 flights within 3 days. So
Wow.
it was very overwhelming.
Hey, keep in mind, folks, when she did this, she was 15. So, and you know, so just like, because I could imagine myself doing it at 15. You know,
Yeah.
if I was staying up late, it was, you know, because I felt like it or something. You know, but it would be more like probably playing video games or something like that. So you actually did something productive, staying up 24 hours. So
Thank you.
Um,
It's
but
definitely
yeah,
a wild thing to look back on that I started this at 15 and now I'm almost 17 and a half, and it feels like it's just gone so fast because I've had such a wonderful time doing it because, again, these families in Uvalde are just the most incredible people I've ever met.
Yeah. Yeah, and on top of that, I also could definitely imagine like that your business definitely has gotten you a lot of attention at your high school.
Well, I am actually homeschooled.
Oh,
Yes,
never
it
mind.
has. It has definitely gotten me some attention at my local church because a couple months ago I spoke there about the toy drive, and the lead pastor actually spoke about me during Sunday services. So
Awesome.
that was wild.
And again, like I said, I saw her on. Hey, say what we want about Fox. We're not gonna get into that part of it, but you know, I saw on Fox News, so with it, and there was even some other stations too that you were on too, mainly the main ones too. So you're gaining attention, and I just say keep at it. It might be nonprofit right now, but I'm pretty sure maybe eventually, even if it's nonprofit, if somebody wants to donate some money, it's like because you're going to need money to buy the toys and
Oh
eventually
yeah.
clothes and everything else. I know people can donate, but and I mean, I think that like I said, I just can't stress enough. It's very admirable of you, and I'm sure the people of Texas are thanking you and everything else. But like, can you want to share any stories, like maybe parents or something, maybe thanking you, like stuff like that, or you just want to make that private?
Well, no, there's definitely some I can share. Definitely one of the most amazing moments when I was there. We were at the event, so it was like a 2-hour event. The kids got to come in, pick out toys. We had therapy dogs, we had snow cones, and then we had a pinata. It was amazing. Just 100 kids in this library. It was packed. It was just so neat to look around and just see all these families. And I was standing like on one side of the building with my mom, and I looked across the room and I saw two family members of one of the victims. I'm not going to say her name just out of respect.
Well, yeah.
And I had been in contact with the victim's sister before. So I went just right across the room. Only way I can explain it is just like parting the Red Sea to get to them. And they were just the kindest people I have ever met. We spoke for, I think, 2 hours. Her sister is only a year older than me, so we just hit it off. But in that moment, it's like I saw them, and it's just in my head. I kept saying, "Oh my goodness, it's in like the victim's name," and I just kept saying that in my head, and it was just incredible. I got to meet multiple victim families, and again, they're so kind, so incredible. I was gifted this book, which is about one of the victims. Her family came to the event. They
Wow.
traveled over an hour to come to
Wow.
it, so it was
Wow.
amazing. It was amazing.
Yeah, and which reminds me, when I first heard about the tragedy on TV, I don't want to get, I don't think this is too
You
political.
you can't. You have my permission. If people go after you, then whatever.
Yeah,
It's my channel. So
yeah, when I first heard about that, it was 10 years after Sandy Hook, and I'm like, pretty much history repeated itself, and I'm like,
Yeah.
it was just so sad how 10 years after Sandy Hook, history repeated itself, and I'm like, I feel like we haven't really come that far since Sandy Hook, but what I really appreciate about you, it's like that. It sounds like that you actually are trying to make progress happen.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's when you look at it, there really has been no change on the laws since Sandy Hook, and it's heartbreaking to see that
Yep.
because it's just something that's continually happening. We've seen it happen in Sandy Hook, Parkland, Florida, Oxford, Michigan, and now Uvalde, even Nashville, Perry, Iowa. There's been so many different ones since that's happened. And, it's like activism is a whole nother can of worms to open. And I tried. It is frustrating. It's just puts you in a bad mood because it's so hard if you try so hard and there's still nothing you can do. It has
Yeah.
to be a big movement. And it's like the toy drive is kind of my way of being able to help with,
Well,
in a way, because I can't change people's opinions, but I
Unfortunately
can
not.
change.
no,
Exactly.
I mean, and I mean, I'll just leave it at this. Like, I mean, I obviously, being an American, I support the Second Amendment, but like, I also don't support ignorance with firearms.
Exactly. It's
And so,
intention. It's all about
mhm.
safe storage. Just there's so many different things that go into it.
I mean, like I said, podcast was going to lead to this anyway, but like, we should maybe, you're at least turning something negative into a positive, but like, maybe if we want to stop this whole thing, maybe we should have to teach people proper gun safety, all the other stuff, and all that stuff, like, I mean, Eric, your dad didn't even let you touch a gun. Like,
matter of fact, I didn't finally touch a gun for the first time until I was 28.
and
So, it just shows just how hardcore that the rules were. I mean, it's totally justifiable. It's because a gun is not a toy. So.
well, like my parents would even, like even squirt guns, it would be like I would have to test fire them, even though like it's a squirt gun, but it was to teach the kid, hey, this is a gun. Regardless if it's a toy gun, it is still a gun. Treat it like it's loaded.
The number one rule in gun safety is all guns are loaded. Even if you know it's not loaded, you never point it at anybody because it's just that's the protocol.
Yes, exactly.
And it's good to keep it that way because even if it's not you could have set it down and somebody might have loaded it and you pick it back up again and things like that happen. So
yeah, it's a good rule, and I think that maybe that's one of the things we've lost. And but like I said, at least like Sammy though, I mean, I would have like you. I'm just so happy that we have somebody like that is, I hope that, like I said, it can be a huge business for you, and maybe it could be maybe eventually like your full-time career, in some ways.
Yeah.
Love to do
Because
that.
I mean, you're, like you said, you're still young, and you, I mean, have already found something you're passionate about.
Yes.
And that's amazing, I mean, because there's so many people out there that struggle like that, like what am I supposed to do? And you've found that very early, and I hope that it can get you very far. So. And we will try everything we can. Like Eric here has the more subscribers than both of us, so I think he'll definitely be giving your business a shout out.
Oh yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
And we will definitely do it. We will definitely do it as well. And heck, maybe we can even keep in contact. We'll try to maybe see if we can maybe make a commercial for it or something.
Yeah, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, it definitely would make it a lot easier, for me to promote it if I have your links to your websites and all that. So yeah.
Well, Sammy, if you want to, you can leave your information in the private chat for them, and we'll definitely keep in touch with all this stuff. This is kind of I don't really know how to really continue this podcast. This is definitely one of our shortest ones, but it was just lovely to talk to you. I just want to thank you again, and I'm sure all of them want to thank you as well. So thank you. And
but yeah, I will say you definitely better enjoy being young while it lasts, because if I could go back to being 16, I would. So yeah, so appreciate being young, because you're not going to be young forever. So.
Yeah, well, so just thank you again. And is there anything you guys want to add?
I was gonna bring up. I don't know if it's part of the topic, but kids these days are they're very drawn to their phones all the time, and they're playing Roblox and Fortnite and stuff. And I was wondering, what do you think is a good way to get them off of that stuff and do something else? More productive. More
productive, like what you're doing.
Well, that's tricky because there's so many different types of kids that have so many different types of passions. because I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I was a Roblox kid, and so I really was until I got involved in this. So it's really just allowing kids and giving kids the space to find their passion and find the thing that they're drawn to, and finding. I hate to say it like that, but seeing like the tragedy on the news that day, that was me finding my passion and what I needed to do, what I was drawn to do.
Maybe, and I think that maybe it should be like more where kids can sit there and find what the kids are actually interested in schools, and then obviously going back to teaching reading, math, arithmetic, and I think that's also the same thing, but whatever. I guess sometimes the Dumbo American comes out. So, but and actually teaching what they're passionate about, and like, because when we grew up, it was like, there were commercials where it would tell us to go outside. Now we don't really have that,
Yeah.
So maybe, and we actually had actual fun outdoor activities, like we mentioned squirt guns. Those are always fun. Or you guys remember this? They would have those commercials for like they were called moon cubes or something. They would sit there with just different types of toys and everything that and maybe in some ways that's how you do it. You like maybe try to find like some unique toys or something for the kids to play with that is actually stuff you do with outside or something. Like, I don't know, I want to see, like, I don't know, maybe make something, and because I feel for Generation Alpha right now, because it's like, man, these kids are, what's their future going to hold? We're not going to get into that part of it, but so I
lost. They're completely lost. I feel like a lot what changed that for them was quarantine, was when they were so young, and that's just what they got used to of being inside. I feel like a lot of them developed like social anxiety of just not wanting to leave the house, and that just kind of glued to technology.
Right.
Yeah, but especially during COVID, we were relying so much like on technology. It was because we were not allowed to get any closer than 6 feet.
Yeah.
And yeah, COVID really changed a lot, and you can either interpret that for the better or for the worst.
So yeah, but I just want to say though, with the utmost thank you, and we'll try to get Sammy's toy drive as much as stuff as we can. And I didn't want to say, is there anything you guys want to add again? Before we let Sammy go. Definitely a very short podcast, but it was.
I actually thought of something. So, say if somebody were to make a movie about what you are doing, who would you want to play you?
Oh wow. Okay. Ooh, that's hard. Can it be like any actress, like from any era, or do they have to be like now?
Yeah, like say if it was from so and so era, it would be that person, and then say if it was made nowadays, so and so new actress.
That's hard. Maybe I really like McKenna Grace, like from nowadays. I think because we're like the same age, and she seems kind of cool. And from back in the day, that's hard. I don't know. I just feel like Judy Garland is cool.
Who I would say, if it's like the early 2000s, if she dyed her hair black, maybe Dakota Fanning.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, Dakota Fanning's cool.
Yeah.
And then maybe around maybe the 2010s, early 2010s, maybe who was the girl who played Hit Girl in Kick-Ass?
Chloe Grace Moretz.
Yeah, her, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I could see that.
I could see somebody, and she'd be an unknown, but I know she's probably, because everybody her age watches the show, but Stranger Things. Now, if she dyed her hair maybe more brown. Now I know this is she's an actress. This is the only role that she's done. But the guy who played, you kind of look a little bit like the girl who was the girl in the last season. There's no easy way around this. The bully girl. But you kind of look like her in some ways. But I thought she was a great actress, you know. And I'm like,
It's kind of ironic that you picked the girl who was a bully.
yeah. But Sammy's obviously seems to have a good sense of humor about it. But she's an actress, you know. She's not the. But she does. I think you kind of look like her in some ways. I can't remember her name. I think it's like LD something. You know.
I can't think of her name, but I know who you're talking about.
Right. So, but I just want to thank you. And if you want to, like I said, leave the stuff in the private chat, or I can give them your information, and we definitely maybe give you guys, you know, a shout out, or heck, maybe Minotaur, maybe you could write a little like Sammy's Toy Drive jingle or something on the guitar, right?
Maybe that's a possibility. Yeah.
No, I guess I'm assuming you want acoustic, no electric, right?
Yeah.
Probably.
See, he's already going at it. So we can maybe make a little jingle, and you know, don't worry about it. We're doing this because we want to. So because we want to support the business and everything else, and because I mean I can't that I think that maybe how we should end it, guys, is let's give Sammy, you know, I can't exactly do it because I'm holding my phone, but let's give her a round of applause here. So
Thank you.
So thank you. I'll give them some of your information so we can talk about stuff, because we'll gladly sponsor this for free, and just to plug it, because you deserve a lot and everything with this, because you know, I'm not going to get into this too much, but you know, the world kind of needs some true heroes and heroines in the world, and I think that could be definitely that for Generation Alpha. So thank you.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that.
Of course, anytime.
Yeah, thank you. And I guess, you know, is there anything? I mean, you know, obviously, you know, plug you so people can. Is it Sammy's Toy Drive at all the major social media?
Yep. I'm on Instagram and Facebook at Sammy's Toy Drive, and then sammystoydrive.com.
No X yet? Or
No.
Or is it Twitter yet? No.
I have not ventured to Twitter yet, you know.
Well, maybe eventually. And so thank you for your time, and we'll definitely, you know, keep in touch, because I want to help you out there, especially someone local here in our state. So
Yes. Well, thank you. I really appreciate this.
thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Right. Thank you so much.
Okay, Minotaur, take us out.
Tor, take us out.